welcome back to my channel. Tonight we are doing a 2-pile pick reading, so you get to pick pile 1 or pile 2. Oh, I forgot my little thingy bobs for each pile. So pile number 1, you are a wooden heart. Pile number 2, you are a happy Buddha, a lucky Buddha. So if you haven't already, please do like and subscribe to my channel. It helps me massively to be seen more. Oh, look at that. We've got Ace of Cups on the bottom of the back. It helps me massively if you can do that for me. And if anything resonates within this reading today, whichever pile you pick, do let me know. There is details in the description box of how you can get in touch with me to book in a personalised reading where we can get a lot more detail on your situation. So these kind of readings, they can be a little bit more specific than the general reading because it kind of splits the collective into 2 places, so you get more in depth about your particular situation. So take some time now to focus on whether you want to pick pile number 1, which is that wooden heart, or pile number 2, which is the lucky Buddha. So just have a think now which pile you would like to choose, and I will join you in your reading. Okay. So, pile number 1, welcome to your reading. So let's see what we have for you. So your pile number 1, if you picked the wooden heart. So I'm going to leave that just there. I'll leave it where you can see it actually. So let's see, first of all, what your archetype cards are. We have Liberator, Father, Fool, and Rebel. Very interesting. So looking at these cards, I am getting the energy of a person that maybe you are a father, maybe you have children and you are a masculine here watching this. So for some of you that might be the case, in which case I feel like you're the kind of father that you're a very fun dad, I'd say. And I feel like your children know their own minds. They're very strong characters. I feel like you've kind of led them, you've freed them into honouring themselves, knowing their self-worth and moving forward, driving forward in the world. I do feel that if you aren't a father, if you don't have children, you have the energy of a father type. So it might be that people come to you for advice, people enjoy and are inspired by things that you say and do. Like maybe younger people look up to you as an adult. I do feel that you are an influential person, especially with the Rebel card on here. You don't just follow rules. I don't think you suffer fools either, even though you've got the Fool card here. I don't think you suffer fools. You are definitely not a fool. But it says here, fearless in revealing emotion, helping people laugh at absurdity and hypocrisy. So I feel like you can be a bit of a clown at times, but there's a purpose behind it. It's almost like you will take the piss sometimes out of things that you know are not fully thought through. So let me get you an idea of what I mean by that. So for instance, if you are in a space where you're in a group of people and the person that's leading that group is talking completely out of their backside, they don't really know what they're talking about, you will be the one to sort of chime in with something funny to kind of like, allow other people to realise this person doesn't know what they're talking about, or, that's the kind of energy that I get from you. There is an energy though with the Fool. It says at the bottom, denial of your emotional truth. So I do feel sometimes you might use humour as a way to mask how you're actually really feeling about something. You might find it difficult to show your emotion and instead make a joke of things, make things seem like really light-hearted. But I do feel like you're quite a fun-loving person. You enjoy perhaps adventures and things like that. You enjoy doing things. You'd rather look at the positives of life rather than the negatives of life. And if somebody feels like they're pulling you down in a negative way, I see you as somebody that would just detach and move forward, move away from that person. I do feel sometimes you can have a bit of a want for control, a want to sort of have things in place where you're the one that's in control of situations in your life. But I'm sensing somebody that's working through those at this time. You're sort of trying to get more of a balance between giving and receiving on here. and you are releasing like any sort of negative self-talk or negative criticism within your own mind. I see you doing a lot of work around that. I do feel that the person I'm talking to here is a masculine, although, you know, if you are the feminine here and this is resonating with you, perhaps you are more in your inner masculine, if that makes sense. Sometimes for people it's sort of like, well, what does that mean? Well, it means we've got a balance of masculine and feminine energy within us, and that doesn't mean that you can be a woman that looks like a man or is beefy or anything like that. It's more you just sort of, you stand in your power, perhaps you're a bit more logical and less emotional, that kind of thing. So let's move that over there, but take that how it resonates. So if that resonates with you, then this is your reading, this is for you. So we're going to see what your current situation is. Now we've got the Hanged Man coming out here. So your current situation could be a time of letting go and surrendering to something. This is an energy that is you kind of seeing a different way, taking a different perspective. And that kind of goes in line with what I was saying there about you're really looking into any negative self-talk that you've got going on at this time. You know, anything you've got that is feeling negative in your mind. Sorry, it's trousers. You're not allowing it anymore to have control over you. You're kind of, if you have a thought, you are questioning yourself over it. So it's almost like you are, anything you're coming up with in your own mind, you're questioning it. It's sort of like, is that what I'm really thinking? Is that what I'm really feeling? And trying to be really truthful with yourself is what I'm feeling from that. I feel like you have been stung a few times in your life. There's two perhaps potential relationships you've had in the past that have really hurt you and that you felt kind of like trapped by. And this is where some of this negative self-talk comes from, is from what people have told you about yourself, what people have said, and almost like these aspects of yourself have been made out to be wrong or bad things about you, when actually they're really powerful aspects of you, you know. And I do feel if you are the one that has children in this particular situation, you know, your children are a credit to you. It shows in them how you've brought them up by being yourself, by being this liberator, father, a bit of a fool and the rebel. You know, it's present in them as well, and you can clearly see that, and I feel like you're proud of them, and you should be proud of yourself as well. So let's pick your runes then. What runes do we have for you at this time? What are the runes telling us about you? We have Wyrd. So you are very determined at this time. You've got a lot of strength and determination. You've taken a different perspective in a particular situation. And right now you are finding the strength and the endurance to kind of transition, if you like. Like you're in this sort of transitional phase at this point where you are working towards something, and it's slow progress. But since you've taken this new perspective, since you've seen things from a different way, you're sort of surrendering to the process now and allowing. Something about power, definitely something about power. And Wunyo, so you are actually feeling quite joyful, and what you're moving towards is more harmonious. It brings you more peace, but a lot of joy. It's almost like when you think about the way forward now, you're excited about things. You're excited about the way forward. And I can see this in your energy anyway. You are someone that, I think you enjoy change. You like newness. It's fresh and exciting for you. And something right now is bringing you harmony in your energy. Wunyo can also come out when there's a new relationship as well that's in your energy. Yeah, something that you have been intending, something that you've manifested, it's like a wish fulfillment, something that you have wanted to manifest in your life has now presented itself to you. And that's why this Hanged Man energy is coming out as sort of like it's allowed you to take a different perspective. And I feel like this is something that you manifested some time ago, possibly even a year ago. you sort of said to yourself, this is what I want, and I'm not going to settle for anything other than this or less than this. And Spirit's kind of suggesting to you now, because of that, and you've kind of stayed true to yourself, and you are working on yourself, working on that self-criticism, and, you know, allowing the positive attributes of yourself to come through, and accepting the shadow qualities as well. So it's almost like, you know, if you're a rebel, you're a rebel. If you're the kind of person that doesn't always go along with the other sheep, that's not a bad thing. That can be a quality, you know. And I feel like you're understanding this about yourself now. It's what makes you different. It's what makes you stand out. And your energy, your aura, possibly even your appearance, you stand out, not in a negative way, in a positive way. And, you know, you have this humor about you, but you also have this like protector energy about you as well. And you do activate people in a positive way. It may feel like it's negative if people sort of don't want to accept their own truth when they're around you and you're talking to them. But in time, they start to realise, actually, yeah, that person was right. I just didn't want to admit it. And that's kind of what makes you the rebel, because instead of you know, if you kind of, somebody tells you something and you think to yourself, I don't think that's true, or I don't think you're telling me the truth. Some people will just go with it. But you, I feel, would challenge it and be sort of like, I don't think that's right, or I feel like this. And it's a good way to be, because it's almost like a BS detector. It's sort of like saying, you know, I'm not going to accept your BS, and I'm going to hold up a mirror for you so that you can see that that's what you're presenting. And people don't tend to like that, do they? People just don't really tend to like truth in that sense. And that's what you kind of bring. But you're starting to accept this about yourself now, and starting to realise your worth. Okay, so let's have a look and see, what is your challenge at this time? What is your challenge? Okay, we've got the King of Pentacles in the reverse position. So you may be feeling a little bit insecure at this time. There might be a feeling of a lack of stability. There feels like you kind of, like we said before, you embrace change a lot. But this is the energy of maybe you've been focused a lot on money or financial situations at this time. And what they're asking you to do here, what the challenge is actually trying to balance between the material and the spiritual realms. So you may be finding that you are being called more towards a spiritual practice, or called more towards, you know, practices that are of more of a spiritual nature. You might not even realise why you are feeling like that. Maybe you've had adverts pop up about yoga, or breathing techniques or something like that, or spiritual courses, or maybe you've just been having strange synchronicities and things happening around you that are kind of leading you to think about your spiritual side more than your material side. So it's kind of like suggesting, don't, you know, the challenge here is to let go of the fear of the financial and material world. You know, tap into your spiritual side a little bit more, and it might actually open up more opportunities for you in the material world. So let's see, what do you need to focus on? What do you need to focus on at this time? Do you need to focus on? Oh, that's interesting. So we've got the sun, which goes with Sawillow, because Sawillow is sun power energy as well. Now, what you need to focus on is what you've been wanting to manifest. What that intention is, you need to focus on it, because it feels like this manifestation is actually starting to become apparent, and that's why the Hanged Man is here. It's shown you a new door. It's shown you a different perspective, and you're being called upon to surrender to it. But that means almost letting go of this control over the financial security. It's very difficult, because it's almost like letting go of something that feels very unnatural to let go of. but you're being called to a higher timeline, to a higher purpose. And this is something that you have manifested. This is something that you've wanted. So Spirit is kind of guiding you towards achieving that and kind of saying, yes, but you need to surrender this first. In order to achieve this, you need to surrender that. But I feel there's part of you that feels like your material gain is how you're going to manifest your intention, when actually it's the other way around. By releasing this control over the material, you are going to get your manifestation, your intention. There's more to it than you realise. There's something hidden that you don't realise at this time. But Spirit is definitely saying, have confidence in what you have manifested. It's been heard. And actually, I feel like it's already been presented to you. It's been put in front of you. But you are denying it because you don't feel ready in a financial space, in a financial situation. Like you're telling yourself, this is my plan, this is what I've got to do. When actually they're saying, no, you need to surrender that idea and allow this to help you. Because that's going to answer a lot of what your worries are around the material world. That's what they're giving to me at the moment. So what do you need to let go of? We know it's to do with the material world, don't we? So what do you need to let go of at this time? Pretty sure, yeah, there's a few of the fives coming out there, which I'm pretty sure there's 5 of cups that nearly fell out. Do you need to let go of at this time? I'm going to put those back for a moment and see if they come back out again. The Chariot was on there, so there might be something about this haste. What do you need to let go of? Let's see what these two are. Hang on a minute. No, it's not right. Hang on. Right. Start again. What do you need to let go of? So there's obviously a struggle. There's a struggle in letting go of what you need to leave behind. So what do you need to leave behind at this time? There's a lot to do with choice, like not being able to make up your mind. Yeah, okay, I'm going to let that one fall out. I think that's where we're at right now. So this is the Two of Pentacles. So this is all about somebody that's needed to juggle a lot. I do feel that what you need to let go of is, one, an inflexibility in your way of thinking. Now, as part of the rebel within you is almost like there is quite a stubborn energy to you. So once you've kind of made your mind up about something, you find it very hard to change your mind on that, unless something causes you to change your mind on it. But there's also this side to, you know, trying to have too many things on the go at the same time because of an inability to make a decision on something. And what that's creating for you is a lot of stress, maybe a lot of drama. You aren't feeling liberated at this time. You are feeling trapped by it. I feel like there's perhaps 2 different decisions that you are weighing up or trying to weigh up. One of them relates to your financial security. One of these decisions you feel brings you financial security. The other decision leads to your intention. So what you're being asked here is what you need to walk away from, what you need to let go of, or leave in the past, is one of these options. One of these options needs to stay in the past. And what Spirit are guiding me on this is that it's the one that is about your material gain that needs to be left behind. Can you do that? You will know, if this is your reading, you will know exactly what that means. If you are in something, staying in something because of the material gain within it, or the material stability, if you like, of it, but it's actually not fulfilling you. It's making you feel like your dreams have been squashed almost, or the vision that you had for your future is not being materializing because of this. It's almost like you're taking stability over growth in a way, in that sense, to do with that particular decision. But the other decision leads to the life that you want to manifest. It leads to adventure, travel, I can see. You will have the material gain to go with it if you let go of what you feel brings you financial security. I can't wait for when this happens for you, when you decided to let it go. That's why the Hanged Man is there, because you are in the middle of an opportunity where you need to surrender to the choice that is aligned with your intention that you manifested. Okay, so what are your strengths at this time? Okay, we've got the Three of Pentacles as your strength. Now this is an ability to mend things. This is an ability to collaborate. So there may be a need at this time to perhaps discuss with others what your intention is. And you will know who the right person or the right people are to discuss your intention with. You already know that this person or these people have the stability to help you with that intention and to make it a reality. Okay, this is a positive energy that I'm feeling as part of your strengths, but I keep getting that song. What is it? Oh, it's a band called, I think they recorded The Music or something, and it's called Strength in Numbers. I don't know if that means anything to you, if you've heard of that band before. The Music, they're called, and the song is Strength in Numbers. Okay, so there is strength in numbers, and there is an ability to, I keep getting mend something that was broken, but also allowing others to know what your intention is. But you have to be very specific about the people that you are telling about this intention. Okay, some people you should not tell about this intention, and those are the people that are connected to this perceived financial stability. That's that one decision. It's the people in the other decision that's towards your intention that you need to discuss with, mend maybe things with, in order to bring this into fruition. But I see you working on this. Again, I see a map. I see people pointing out different points on the map. So I do see a lot of travel within this. I see somebody traveling a lot, actually. Oh, we've got the King of Wands on the bottom of there as well. So this is a very confident leader. This is success. This is someone that's very driven by passion. And that's your force, you know, that's what you've got. That's what you need to be bringing up, because something's squashing your passion, squashing your dreams. It's holding you back from your true full potential because you feel like you have to be in it for material stability, but you don't. So let's get some advice now on the future at this point. We have the Nine of Pentacles. This is just fulfillment in general. This is like completion. It's somebody that is self-reliant, stood in their power, like you're shining like a bright, shiny diamond. So your future looks very promising. This is also other people looking at you and thinking like, wow, look at them, they made it. You are going to be self-made if you can let go of this thinking you need stability with that. Now, this is through being disciplined and focusing on that intention and moving towards it, not allowing anything else to distract you from it. So I'm going to talk you through those two options again, because I'm getting an energy now, and you can work this out for yourself. So think about the two decisions that you've got going on at the moment, okay? One is that one that is you feel is financially stable. Now think about that energy. Because what I'm feeling from that is like a real sunken feeling in my heart. Like there's no passion to it whatsoever. It's passionless. It's got no real lust or drive to it. And I feel like you're quite a passionate person. You're somebody that sort of needs that drive in them to keep going. Now, the other option, which is this intention that is available to you, the opportunity's there if you let go of the first one. That stirs something in here. And this is the sacral center. This is creativity. This is liberation. And you are the liberator, remember? That is part of your energy. You do have that within you. Again, if you're that collective that has children, look at your children. How driven are they? Yeah, you put that into them. Why aren't you putting it into yourself? This is, you know, taking a risk, I feel. This is about taking a risk at this time. And if you are willing to take a risk, there is a lot of fortune around it, okay? There's a lot of roses coming up in here. And teeth, something about teeth. I don't know if somebody's got a problem with their teeth or something like that. Or something, yeah, something about teeth. Not sure what that is. But this is about you standing in your power, standing in your confidence. So, you know, you've got to let go of anything that's holding you back from that confidence, from feeling like you're in your power, okay? Because this is your future card. And that is a very, very bright future card. Very bright indeed. So, what is your advice then? What advice do we have for you within this situation? 8 of Cups. Okay, so yes, again, it's coming up. 8 of Cups is about leaving behind something that is holding you back. So your advice is to walk away from what is that perceived financial stability. Now, I don't want to get myself into trouble and people start leaving their jobs and things like that and being like, well, you told me to leave something that was stable. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not telling you to leave your job. What I'm talking about is playing it safe in something that isn't fulfilling you at this point, but you know there's an opportunity for you that perhaps doesn't feel like a guarantee, but it's worth taking a risk on. That's what I'm feeling from this. And the 8 of Cups is kind of like, you know, moving towards the light. Leave the past in the past. Leave things behind that just don't resonate with your heart anymore. Okay, there's 2 hearts in the cup in here, so it's almost like the 2 of Cups is showing up in there. You don't need to hold on to something for dear life because you think it brings you stability. You can let go of things that you feel are actually holding you back from really embracing a full and liberated life. Because this is the type of person that you are. You're that rebel. You're that fool. You know, the fool is the one that takes chances, takes a risk, has a leap of faith. Is almost like we'll see what happens. We'll just go with it. It's life experience, and that's the kind of person you are. That's what you say to people, I feel. It's like, you know, just take the ball by the horns and see what happens. But you've become a little bit sedentary of late. And I'd say that's perhaps over the past year, is you've gone and put your dreams in a box over there and thought to yourself, well, I'll just settle with this because it brings me stability. And you've told yourself you've got a plan for the future. But it's not sitting right with you right now. It's holding you in a place of feeling lost and not fulfilled. And you are dreaming such a lot about your future and the way forward. So that's your advice. That was a lot of advice. So what about your environment right now? What's your environment telling us on here? Ooh. Wheel of Fortune we have as your advice. Just saw the Tower there as well. So, sorry, not your advice, your environment. So your environment, you are changing, and there is something shifted in your environment at this time. And perhaps you've had a bit of a clear out or something like that, and you're tidying up a little bit, you're cleansing your spaces, things like that. There's a fresh energy to your environment, and it is helping you to function better mentally, to make decisions of change that are positive for you, that feel more aligned with this free spirit that's within you. You're allowing that now. And I feel somebody's like cranking it up, this spiritual energy within you, this power. You're starting to realise actually that power of manifestation within you, it's real. You do know how to manifest, and you have manifested so much. So it'd be a shame to turn your back on things that you've manifested for fear of it not working out, for fear of getting hurt, for fear of not being financially stable. You have to trust. And this is asking you in your environment to trust the wheel of fortune, because it's in your favour right now, you know. The wheel is turning, and it could land anywhere. Yeah, it could be a bit of a gamble. But either way, you're going to enhance your life through the experience. What are your hopes and fears? What are your hopes and fears? The number 10 might be significant as well. That might be something to do with the 10th of May, maybe, as we're coming into that month now. Although this is a timeless reading, so if you see this any other time of the month, of the year, it could be to do with that. So what's your hopes and fears on here? Hopes and fears. Okay, so hopes and fears is coming up as 9 of Cups. I'd say that's more hopes than fears. So the 9 of Cups, this is all about desire. So I feel that there is a desire fulfillment. There's something very sensual about the way forward for you. And I do feel this urge to want to go towards something that feels very sensual. Perhaps you're a very sensual person yourself. There's this real drive to sort of, you know, fulfill your wishes and gain satisfaction. And there's something within you that you feel is satisfying, but you're not sure if it's stable enough. And that's why you're stuck in this energy of the other decision. But that actually, it might bring stability in a sense, but it is definitely not fulfilling you. It does not fulfill your desires. And that isn't helping you to move forward. So it's almost like the fear of this is that, am I lusting after something and actually it's not going to turn out to be anything, and then I'll have lost my stability? Or am I heading towards my desires, creativity, my sensuality, and actually opening myself up to new opportunities of abundance? And I feel like that's more the way forward for you on here. So let's see what your outcome is. What is the outcome of this situation? You got a lot going for you in your future. So I hope this is advising you enough to make the right decisions that you need to make for you, to have the courage to do it. Let's see what your outcome is going to be. Ten of Wands. Okay, so the outcome, I feel, is suggesting about the end of struggle. So for you, feel like you've been carrying a lot of burden lately, you've been carrying a lot of heaviness. And this is almost now like, some of the cards, the Ten of Wands, can show somebody carrying sticks on their back. And the card I'm thinking about at the moment is one where there's a woman like loading up an animal and like putting a suitcase on and everything like that, or she's holding the suitcase ready to move on and putting all the sticks down. You've been through a lot of struggles. You've been through, you know, carrying a lot of burden, and some of it wasn't even your burden, I feel. I do feel people have attacked your character as well, through their own fears because of what you've illuminated within themselves. But even so, you've still carried it on. You've still muscled through. This is what Uruz is telling you about. You're a very determined character. You do have the ability, you're very grounded. You have the ability to keep going, even though things are difficult, things are hard. So your outcome here it doesn't suggest struggle. I feel it suggests the end of struggle. It's like you can take that heavy burden off your shoulders now and move through life a little bit lighter, because it feels to me that the work you're doing on yourself is acknowledging and accepting your shadow qualities. So those are like the rejected parts of you that you've been told aren't good parts about you, but actually you're starting to realise something's made you realise that there is nothing wrong with you as a person, and you can be present in the way that you need to be. You can expose these aspects of yourself and not fear it, you know. I do feel like something's really opened you up to understanding that and realising that, and you are starting to rework the tapestry of your Wyrd, of your fate at this time. And that's why we've got this in your environment. And that's why we've got this in your strength, you know. It's all about mending things. It's almost like the tapestry's been ripped and you've had a realisation, actually, rather than trying to save up lots and lots of money by doing things I don't really want to do, I just need to get a needle and thread and I need to just sew it up, you know, in my own organic way, in my own way. And that's the way it is, you know. Instead of like paying somebody to, or getting something new, or saving up to get something new, you've just decided, yeah, I can actually make do with what I've got and make it right, make it better. And I'm actually enjoying the process of doing that, rather than flogging my guts in something that makes me feel so unfulfilled and just squashes my desires, my dreams, or keeps me chained up, holds me back from really fully embracing my sensual side, my desire fulfillments, you know. So yeah, an end to struggle is on the cards for you. So I'm going to leave your reading there. If that resonated with you and you would like to know more, then please do get in touch for a personalised reading. If so, I will see you in pile number 2 if you fancy having 2 readings today. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number 2. So if you are pile number 2, then you chose the Lucky Buddha. So I'm going to leave Lucky Buddha just there so you can see him. So let's get into your reading, shall we? Let's see what we have for you. So these are your archetypes. We have the Destroyer, wow, the Artist, we have the Poet, and we have the King. Very good, very regal. So the energy I have for you, the Destroyer, first of all, releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for new life. I do feel like you're the kind of person that embraces change. Like change feels good to you, and maybe you switch jobs quite quickly, or you like to try new things, try different things. You may also sometimes have an ability to sabotage things, not on purpose, but sort of like just, you know, when something gets a bit tough, you'll step away from it. You'll decide, right, I'm done with that now, I'm going to move on. But the Artist, it's kind of like you have an ability to express yourself through artistic or creative endeavours. So that may be painting or drawing or something like that. Maybe you have a creative job. Perhaps you're a designer or something. But I do feel like you put all of your energy, a lot of your energy, into your artistic creations. So I do feel like this is something that you do for a job. And Poet, that's a nice one, and it really goes with the Artist on there. So I do feel like actually your creative endeavours could be to do with, perhaps you write books or stories or poems even. You have an art for expressing what you've learned, the knowledge that you've gained, and putting it into poems. Something about symbolic things as well. So it's almost like if you see something that you feel is symbolic, you like to write about that. You may be the type of person that journals a lot as well, likes to write things in your journal, and dreams a lot too. And the King too. So it's like you are enlightened, benevolent leadership, benefiting those in your charge. So I do feel when you are around other people, they see you in that like regal light. So I feel like the way you carry yourself, perhaps the clothes that you wear, just how you generally maybe have your home, it perhaps looks very interesting. Yeah, I feel like you're quite a neat person. You just look wealthy. Do you know what I mean? Even if you're not wealthy, you appear wealthy. Like you're king in your castle is what I'm getting. Do feel sometimes your energy can be a little bit intense for other people. So they may feel a little bit like, you know, you can get quite, what's the word? Excited about things that you are learning about or knowing about or talking about. And I feel like you like to debate a little bit with people or just challenge people's views in certain ways. But you are just intoxicated by thoughts and words and knowledge. You're a real deep thinker and you talk on a deep level. So I feel like you're the kind of person that you can't really have these shallow, empty conversations and everyday conversations. You're the kind of person that if it's going to be a dull conversation about like what the weather's doing or what you had for tea, you'd be like, I'm off, and you'd just go. There'd be no sort of like pandering to or letting yourself be part of that conversation. You're just off. It's kind of like a cutthroat energy I feel from you, which I think that's brilliant. But some people in your life may find that difficult to deal with. So let's see what your current situation is, shall we? We have the High Priestess. Very intuitive. Maybe your current situation right now is that you are starting to switch on a psychic level. Maybe you're starting to have vivid dreams. I'm feeling that quite a bit actually with you. And I feel like you're writing those dreams down as well, or you're just being very aware of those dreams. And in these dreams, there might be people in your life. And maybe you are watching these videos at this time because it's making you wonder about people in your life. It's almost like you feel that there is, like your intuition is telling you something on a psychic level about people in your life. And it's bothering you at this time. There's something about that. So let's get into, actually, let's get your runes first of all. See where your energy is with your runes. So what do we have for you in your runes at this time? Hagalaz. Wow, well that goes with the Destroyer. So yes, you are aware of something that's happening in your life right now that's creating a little bit of destructive energy. There's been some form of disruption, but you can't quite catch what it is. But it has brought up some challenges around you at the time. I feel like with people in your life. Urus, we had this in the first reading as well, and pile number 1. So if you're watching pile number 2 and you watch pile number 1, this might be for you as well. So this is somebody that's kind of like, even in adversity, you have the strength and determination to move forward, okay? You are realising the power of your intuition. Sorry, I burped there. Sometimes when I'm reading, a bit of healing comes through and it makes me burp. I don't know why. So you have this energy that even in challenging times, even if people are attacking you or there's just these chaotic energies around you, you kind of stand your ground. You always seem to stand your ground. Let's see what else we have for you on here. Rado, you feel it is time for changing direction at this point. There is kind of like a twist in the journey, a twist in the path. And what it's aligning you on is a higher timeline that is aligned with your spirit. And your intuition is guiding you on your soul path, on your soul journey, rather than on like a karmic journey. It's guiding you towards something much bigger. And it is linked into your creative, artistic abilities. So let's get into it. Let's see what we've got. So what is the challenge at this time for you? What is your challenge? Okay, we've got 2 cards that have come out there for your challenge. It's interesting, we've got the 10 of Pentacles on there. So that can be like about legacy, things that you are leaving. It's like gifts that you inherit from your family, from generations past. So I feel like you come from a line, I mean, you may have a bit of gypsy blood in you, or just a line of people that are highly intuitive and highly spiritual. And we've got the 7 of Wands in the reverse there, and it's almost like before now you've been quite defensive and kind of put off by anything to do with psychic abilities, anything to do with spirituality, stuff like that. It's almost like, you know, I don't want to know, being quite defensive about it. But you're opening up to it now. I feel like the challenge here is that you are kind of allowing yourself to explore it more. It's almost like something that's being seen cannot be unseen. And you're questioning now, like, well, I'm starting to believe in this stuff. Like, how did I know that? I had this thought or this feeling about somebody or something, and it's actually happened. So you're starting to believe it. I do feel that you have been having a lot of omens as well lately. So you've perhaps been seeing a lot of angel numbers, or you've been seeing a lot of strange things. This came up in a reading the other day where it's like, it might be to do with you see an animal where you wouldn't normally see an animal. Yeah, or there's something about a song and the lyrics within a song that really stand out to you all of a sudden, and you've heard that song loads. Or a song just suddenly jumps into your playlist and it's got something to it and you're like, what is that? I had that once years ago with a song called The Source. I can't remember, is it Candy somebody? I won't sing it, I promise. Look it up. But there was a time where this song used to play, like the stereos that used to have like a timer on them, or you'd set an alarm for them to wake up and the radio would come on. And it was just that song every single time the radio used to come on, and it used to freak me out. But looking back now, it was something, a sign or a synchronicity. It was trying to get my attention. And I feel like that's what's happening for you in your life right now, is something's trying to get your attention. And it's alerting you to the need to really embrace your intuitive and psychic ability. Okay. So you might be feeling a little bit like up and down at the moment, like your mood is swinging a lot. That's what I'm feeling from that. So what do you need to focus on at this time? And I feel like it's about your direction. It is about your direction in life at this time. There's something in your intuition telling you something and you're not sure. You're second guessing it. So we have the Knight of Pentacles. Now, this particular knight is usually very slow moving. This particular knight is somebody that is more sort of like able to go along, you know, in things that are secure and safe and stuff like that. But this is actually showing an energy of taking shortcuts. So that's interesting, as this is in your things to focus on. I'm itching my nose, and I've always been told before that that's about when you're coming into some money. Now, the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse position is somebody that is chasing the money, chasing those pentacles, trying to go after them. When he's in that position, he's kind of feeling safe and secure and like, there is no rush, I'm going for it. Whereas in that position, it's like somebody that's like, I need to get after the money, I need to get after it, and can get a little bit too focused on the financials, which kind of holds you in a stuck energy. That's so interesting, because that's very similar to pile number 1 that was coming through on there. So that's what you need to focus on. You need to focus on the fact that maybe you're putting your energy into the material too much at this time, and it's kind of keeping you in a stuck energy that's blocking you from your intuition. Let me see. What is your... Oh no, what are you letting go of? That's what we want to know. Ooh, okay. Oh, so you're letting go with the Page of Wands. Now, that's interesting because this, I feel, goes with this one. So what you need to focus on is that, like, realising that you are chasing money at this time is what I'm feeling. And the Page of Wands is all about enthusiasm and inspiration and driving forward on there. But I also feel like this can actually suggest someone that's constantly, like, once you've got an idea in your mind that you want to go towards, you're like a dog with a bone and you won't let go until you get it. Even if that means cutting your nose off to spite your face, that kind of energy. It's like a real stubborn energy to it. So that's basically what they're saying to let go of here. It's like, don't stubbornly hold on to what you feel is a driving force for you right now, because it's keeping you stuck. And it's almost like somebody that is stuck maybe in a straitjacket. Imagine somebody in a straitjacket, right? The more you struggle, the tighter it gets and the more exhausted you are becoming. And that's what I'm feeling from this, is what you need to let go of is overexhaustion, is kind of like going too far into trying so hard to achieve something that actually isn't really achievable for you. Is your intuition telling you that there is another way, there is a better way for you? And it does feel like it's tapping into your artistic and creative abilities, tapping into your intuition. So what are your strengths? No, your strengths are strength. That is your strength. You're very strong. You have Urus there as well. And I do feel like you have the ability, with that Destroyer card too, you have the ability to stand your ground in amongst chaos. So that is your strength right now, is you are bold, you are courageous, you have the ability to move forward regardless of what is going on around you. You're a very powerful person, I feel. You've got a real powerful energy about you. It's that king energy. It's like you can be humble and stable when you want to be, but when there's a time to battle, you're there. You do it. You'll get the job done. You won't let anybody get you down. You'll always rise back up again. So that's quite a powerful card to have as your strengths. It's the most amazing one for your strengths, really, isn't it? Let's see what your future is of this situation. What is the future? Oh, the future is justice. So that is about gaining balance, equilibrium in terms of like getting truth, basically. And, you know, it might be that you have been through a bit of a situation where there's been a need for integrity at this time. Let me think about that. You are going to be getting clear on what the truth is through your intuition. So you're being asked to really trust your own intuition on this particular situation. Stand your ground, have courage, and trust your intuition on this. Because in your future, it's showing that there is justice there. It's going to create balance and an opportunity for truth to prevail. Okay. So you are, if you were looking for truth, you need to ask and inquire with your intuition. Keep asking, you know, if you get those signs, synchronicities, those angel numbers and things, ask for guidance. Like, what is that telling me? What is that about? And I always say to people, go with that first thought. What were you thinking when you saw those things? Try and really rack your brains. What was on my mind at that time? Or what theme of thought was in my mind around that sort of time? Because that's quite a positive card to have in your future. You know, it's like all will become clear very, very soon. It's not going to be too far away. Now it's interesting because in this tarot deck, for some of this comes out as 8, which is actually strength, when actually it's usually number 11. So if you've been seeing a lot of 1-1s, that's what this is talking about. So the thought that you have when you see maybe 1111 on the clock or something like that, or a series of 1s, it's really listen in, tap into what was I thinking right then at that point, or just before I saw that, what was I thinking? And you might need to have a hot minute to sort of like go back into that and try and do that on a regular basis, because it's giving you advice on what you're thinking and what you're feeling. Okay, so in some ways it could be, I'll try and give you an example of that. Say for instance, your thoughts are about a particular person in your life and you're role playing maybe a memory or something that's occurred, maybe a conversation that's been had or something like that. And then you see the 1-1s, or you hear that particular song on the radio, or that animal again flies in front of you or runs in front of you, or whatever it is. It's telling you that your intuition is correct about what you thought of that situation, okay? It's telling you that your intuition is correct. So remember that. Let's see what your environment is talking about right now. The sun. So right now, you are in your environment, you're in a master place of manifestation, of bringing your dreams into light. So I do feel that right now you're having some quite prophetic dreams. These dreams are guiding you to this truth, to this justice. They're guiding you towards what it is that you need to know. Oh, hang on a minute, that's your future card, isn't it? So this is your advice, actually. This is your advice card. So your advice here, yes, it is about that. But maybe it's linked to your environment, because this is about where you dream, where you sleep, where you are in that energy. There's something about that space that brings you joy and inspiration, is what I'm getting from this. Oh, I'm getting another song now. Is it Oasis, Start a Revolution from My Bed? And that's like John Lennon, isn't it? John Lennon and Yoko Ono in bed, you know, starting a revolution. This is kind of like you taking control of your environment. So your advice here is to sort of like start that revolution yourself. Manifest your dreams. You know the truth, or you will very soon if you don't already. The truth is about to be exposed to you. Okay. So let's have a look at environment now. What is happening with environment for you? What is in your environment at this time? Interesting. The Hanged Man. Now this came out in the last reading again as well. So your environment at this time it's asking you to surrender. Environment is kind of asking you to take a different perspective, to see things in a different way. And this could be, again, with your intuition, following your intuition on, I feel like for some of you, it might be about you asking the question of like, should I stay here? Should I go? That's why you've got Rado. It's like, do I change things or do I stay? What do I do? Now, the Hanged Man in your environment is kind of suggesting that you take a different perspective on where you're at right now and realise, actually, where is the opportunity for me in my own environment? So it's almost like standing there in your environment. You could decide to just move house, or you could look at what you've got already and shift things around a little bit. So it's almost like, looking at what you've got already and shifting things around. That's what it's asking you to do. It's a bit like, say, like you've got your environment there and you looking at it this way up. Go and do a headstand. Look at it upside down. It's always a different perspective. That's a bit of a silly one to say, but you know what I mean. You don't have to move your whole house you can just change your perspective on what you already have and make the best of what you have, is what I'm getting for that one. So let's have a look what your hopes and fears are. Hopes and fears. I nearly said hopes and dreams then. Oh, we've got two cards there. So hopes and fears, we have the Empress and the Queen of Swords. Two different feminines there. Now, if you're the feminine watching here, this could be you. So I'm going to talk to the feminines first of all. So if you're a female watching, the Empress is your nurturing energy, your ability to create, and your desire to nurture your gifts and really bring them into the world, okay? And the Queen of Swords is that integrity, that ability to have bravery and courage in your communicating yourself. This is about a feminine that's standing in her power right now. So it's almost like you're taking that fear and slicing through it. And your hopes are to feel stable and secure and loved, I feel, loved unconditionally. That's what your hopes are on this. Now, if you're the masculine watching here, your hopes and fears might actually be to do with a feminine in your life. Or it could be you embodying your inner feminine, in which case this is about you expressing that creative energy and not being afraid of it. This could be somebody very nurturing in your life that can, like a healer, that can help you to embody that. But there's also this kind of like feeling of being smacked down. Somebody being maybe a little bit cold towards you. But it does, again, it's another symbol of, with the Justice card there, integrity and truth. So maybe there's a fear around truth, but there is also this want for, and this is unconditional love as well, like the Empress comes out as unconditional love. So it's kind of like maybe there is a hope for unconditional love, but a fear around the truth. Yes. A fear around the truth that needs to come out maybe, or what that brings. And let's see what your outcome is on this. What is your outcome right now? What is your outcome? What is the outcome here? Wow, those two fell out together. Pretty sure they came out together earlier actually. So your outcome is the Page of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune. Very interesting. Now, you have felt a new wave of inspiration and enthusiasm that is kind of driving you towards making changes. And the outcome here is showing that actually, in you following your intuition on this and being guided by your intuition, it's actually brought some new inspiration to you. And it is like taking you up onto a higher timeline. And it feels like you are aligned with your soul purpose, if you like. It feels very special, this energy. It feels very unique. And the ability there, especially with the Wheel of Fortune, you know, it's all about that change. You know, as the wheel turns, it's constantly changing, constantly moving. But it's almost like you've come through something where you are, you've come through a lot of lessons, basically, and come round, your intuition is showing you something that is now inspiring you. You know, that advice card there, the Sun, it's teaching you, isn't it? Of sort of like, you know, allow your intuition to guide you, allow your dreams to guide you, because what you are manifesting there, it is coming into fruition quite quickly, I'd say, as well. And it's bringing you new inspiration, new enthusiasm for change. But this is a positive change. It's no longer a karmic lesson. It's no longer another pattern that's going to repeat itself. This is a new up level. You've leveled up, if you like. It's a new timeline that you're on. That's the outcome of this. So I'm going to leave your reading there. I hope that that resonated with you and you enjoyed it. Please do leave me a comment or a like so that I know. And if you would like to book in for a personalised reading, then please do get in touch. My details are down in the description box. I also offer 1 or 2 question quick readings as well, which I try and do those as quick as possible. You could be looking at between 1 hour to 12 hours. But usually I try and get them done as soon as I possibly can once I've received your order. So have a blessed evening.